Hello and welcome to this live stream of Mad About Sports once again. And we are here live talking about USA versus South Africa game, which kickstarts in 40 minutes from now. As you all know, this is going to be one exciting game of cricket for a lot of reasons. So number one, to start off with, we have to talk about the game, which is like big game for USA cricket because USA cricket would not have played a bigger game than this in their cricketing history. Now that is number one. Number two, we are up against South Africa, who's been up. This is going to be a game where South Africa is unbeaten coming into this game. Now that you all know that USA has been a talking point of this World Cup right now. One end of the spectrum, you have a South African team who have played a lot of close games coming into this particular game, and USA team who has been the flavor of the tournament, who has played some incredible cricket just coming into this tournament, and they've really fought hard. But yeah, for them, it's going to be a different venue. They're going to be playing in the Caribbean islands. They're going to be having a different challenge altogether. It's an uphill task, and it's never going to be easy, especially if you're up against a team like the South Africa, because they've got some terrific space bowling attack. They've got great batters who can take the game away. But can they maintain composure and win today is the biggest question, biggest question which one will have. Can USA do it or not? Now, who are the players to really watch out for? Now, you understand that in a game like this, there are going to be some big players to watch out for, especially from both these teams. Number one, when we talk about the USA team, you have got some incredible players to start off with, especially because in this tournament you've seen some great players take the center stage. You've got the likes of Aaron Jones, you've got the likes of Netra Walker, you've got the likes of Andrew Goose, you've got Monan Patel. So these lads are going to be certainly a big players. These certainly are going to be big lads to watch out for in tonight's game. But when you talk about South Africa as well, lads, you know, you have to talk about the likes of David Millers and the Tristan Stubbs, because these two teams will have equal amount of players who will be up against each other in a big contest like this. And that's where you'll have to come down to the very minor facts of can these lads maintain composure in a game like this? Because why I say this is because in a game like this, it's about maintaining composure. Now, South Africa's biggest issue has been over the years has been not maintaining composure in big games. Now, if they can put out the big game pressure and come down to these very fact of taking the owners on, playing the best possible cricket they can, they should be able to cross over the line. Because here is a big test for South Africa and themselves. Remember the last T20 World Cup? They were expected to go to the semi-finals, but they messed up in the most incredible fashion against Netherlands, which led Pakistan to go to semi-finals. So with South Africa, it's always unpredictable. The Cricket World Cup as well, they made the semi-final, but they just did not turn up on that semi-final. Remember, they were certainly one of the teams to watch out for in the group stage. But come that big day, they've always taken up the pressure. Now here you have a captain, Aiden Markram, who's been winning tournaments for fun. Let's be honest. He's won two SA20s. He's won an Under 19 World Cup with South Africa. The only South African to have an Under 19 World Cup or an ICC trophy is Aiden Markram. So he's got experience of leading teams to championship. So that's a big bonus. Now, if you have a captain who leads by example, who's got experience of winning, that certainly helps because previously you felt like a lot of South African captains took a lot of pressure when it comes to these big occasions and these big days. Now, at least now you have a captain who's ready to, you know, who's got the method of doing his own way of things. That certainly helps if you're a South African cricket fan. Now, talking about USA, uh, USA is obviously a team who can be who can be mercurial in its own way. Why I say the term mercurial is because we've seen that with USA that USA on their good day can defeat anybody. And they've got the spinner, they've got Kenjinge, they've got the likes of Harpreet Singh. So these spinners can come in handy in a game, especially against South Africa. If the ball is going to turn a little bit, you saw that against Nepal as well. South Africa can be put under certain amount of pressure if the ball is going to turn. And then they've got the experienced lads like the Ali Khans, they've got the sort of Netra Walkers. So it's going to be a cumulative effort, especially to defeat a team like South Africa for the USA team. Now, what is it about this USA team, right? Now, if you look at their games, they played their first game against Canada, and you saw the guys, Aaron Jones stepped up. You saw Andre Ghosh step up. The game against Pakistan, again, Aaron Jones stepped up. Monan Patel stepped up. Against India, you felt like somewhere down the line, it was not the easiest of pitches, let's be honest. In New York, it was going to be a different challenge. If you look at America as well, they played a lot of their cricket in Dallas. Now, coming to New York was a new challenge for the USA national team because that was a new ground. The pitch was not settled in. Every team who played in USA found it difficult. But look at the challenge they gave to India, right? If you look at this tournament, the one team which really made India to really struggle, especially with the bat, Pakistan, yes, obviously that was a close game. But USA is the closest after that because they really made sure there was a point in the game where you really thought, okay, USA has got complete control of this game because 8 runs per over, 7 runs per over in a ground like New York was going to be difficult. So credit to USA for doing that. Credit to USA for soaking in the pressure, for making sure that they really fought well against India. So that is where you have to give it to the USA team. Somewhere down the line, you'll have to go back and look at what could have the USA team done against India a little better. Especially in these pitches, the challenge is going to be different. You're going to be up against an Andre Nokia, Akakiso Rabat if he's going to play, and Marco Jansen and Bartman as well. So it's going to be a four-seamer attack most likely. Ideally speaking, South Africa should go with two spinners, that is in Keshav Maharaj and Tabrez Shamsi, and put the pressure on the USA team. The pitch is going to offer a little bit of turn. So that's going to be interesting to see how many spinners South Africa play. Either ways, they're going to be up against a quality pace attack as well. So their first encounter is going to be to defeat, to counter someone like a Marco Jansen. Can they still play positive cricket in this tournament? Because it's not going to be easy to play positive cricket because of two reasons, right? Number one, number one, the most hardest thing I would say is to play positive cricket and to maintain that composure in a tournament like this. Now, yes, group stage they did well. Group stage, we all know about the kind of record they had. They found it really easy to defeat a lot of teams. Uh, but in this stage of the tournament, especially in this particular stage of the tournament, when it comes to the Super Eights, can they play positive cricket is the first question. Can they? They should be ideally be able to because there's nothing to lose. There's not a lot of expectation on USA to go out there to win the World Cup. In all honesty, yes, they're a terrific team. They've done well in this tournament, but that doesn't mean they are the favorites to go out there and win the tournament. It's definitely going to take them some time to really get adjusted to the cricketing world and to get their expectation on them. At this point, all what they're going to do, everything what they're going to do is going to be it's going to be some sort of a bonus, and it's going to really help them in their long run. So at this point, one thing which you can all understand is that can USA maintain that? Can USA keep going with that same thrust they had in that group stage? Ideally, they should be able to do it because that's when they can be dangerous as well. You saw that against Pakistan. They made certain statements, especially Avin Jones, Morning Patel. They made statements that we're not afraid to go out there to take on the challenge. We want to take on head. We want to take any challenge head on. Now that mindset you've seen with a lot of US sporting teams as well. So when it comes to a lot of these US sporting teams, the best thing what they have got is a mentality. Like let it be NBA, let it be the likes of baseball. Um, you know, even in individual sports, right? You've got players with mentality, and that really rubs off when you talk about the culture in itself. So when you have a sporting culture, especially in USA, uh, and they've got see nobody is giving USA that hope of going out there to win this World Cup, but the mentality is what matters here, and that's something which has strived them to reach thus far. The US sporting mentality, yes, you can say there's not a lot of US players who were born and bred there. A lot of these migrant players are there, likes of Corey Anderson, Harpreet Singh, Monan Patel, Saurabh Netravalkar. A lot of these players are migrant players. Even likes of Avin Jones is from Barbados, who made us migration into USA. But the culture really drives motivation, right? Now, when you talk about US sporting culture in basketball, in MLB, or NFL, it's about taking the challenges head on. And that's the mentality they kept in the Pakistan game. Even in the India game, you felt like at no point they were a lesser team or they were an associate nation, which is who are playing the World Cup for the first time. You never felt it. Now that's what you would want to see even today. Going against South Africa, obviously South Africa are a better team on the paper. Obviously South Africa have got better records when it comes to playing in a T20 World Cup. Not that they won a T20 World Cup, but the fact of the matter is they are a much more established team. But can they really go out there to give South Africa a challenge? Yes, they can. Now, who are the main players who have to really take the onus in a game like this? Now, for all that you know, in a game like this, you need to have players who can be fearless. Avin Jones is certainly one of them. Pitches are going to be better than New York, so he's certainly going to come into party. He can play spin well, so that's good. He's got this lock sweep, so the threat of Tabriz Shamsi and Keshav Maharaj can possibly be neutralized by someone like him. I think you have to not look beyond. If Monan Patel is fit and well, I think Monan Patel is a big player for this team, especially up top the order. Steve Taylor, yes, not as much, but as an Aaron Jones or Andre Goose, because Andre Goose again is a South African. He's going to be up against his own home nation here. So Andre Goose, yes, he could be another potential threat for South Africans. But in all honesty, the players who are going to be important in this game are number one, as I mentioned, is going to be Aaron Jones. At number two, I'm going to place Monan Patel. And I'm going to go out and say even Harpreet Singh to a large extent because he's not really come in because he's been batting at number seven for this team. But you given that right role, he could be a menace and he could be a very important player in this batting lineup because he's a left-hander, uh, can take on the attack. He's got a strike rate of 162 in T20 cricket, so that's an exemplary strike rate to have. Then you have a Corey Anderson who's got experience, who's got the ability to turn game on his own head, both with the bat and ball, but majorly with the bat, I would say. Corey Anderson with the ball is still way past his prime. So I would say Corey Anderson with the bat is going to be important for the USA team. And to add to which, I'm going to also go out there to say someone like someone like Nitish Kumar in the middle order. You saw that in the last game as well, the game against Pakistan as well. Hit the winning run, hit the runs which went to tie the match. So Nitish Kumar, Corey Anderson, Harpreet Singh, these three in the lower middle order are going to be very important because in pitches in West Indies, you need players who have got that composure. And I see a lot of composure in all these players. And one other player who's going to be very important for this team is going to be Ali Khan. Now, Ali Khan has played a lot of CPL games here in the Caribbean islands, and he's going to be feeling like he's got a lot of experience of playing in these grounds as well. So Ali Khan is going to be a very important factor in this team because if Ali Khan can pick up wickets in the middle overs and in the power play with the ball, he's going to be laying the foundation for the likes of Harpreet Singh, for likes of Ken Jinge, for likes of Saurabh Netravalkar to ball around them. Even Jasdeep. Jasdeep has not had the greatest of tournament thus far in this World Cup, but expect him to come good at some stage, right? Because when you talk about Jasdeep as well, he's been slightly erratic. He's been wavering with his lengths. He's been slightly on and off when it comes to him really not delivering at the right point of time in this tournament. So ideally speaking, I would like to say that it's going to be accumulation of a Jasdeep Singh. It's going to be accumulation of a Saurabh Netravalkar, accumulation of a Mohammad Ali Khan. These lads have to come good at the right point of stage. And today's game is going to set the tone for them for the rest of the Super 8s. Now that's when we talk about the USA team. Let's talk about South African team. Now, South African team, yes, they've won 4 out of 4 games, but just look at the way in which they won 4 games, right? Sri Lanka, yes, they got them all for 77 runs, but they struggled their way to get to that 77 runs against Sri Lanka. It wasn't the most convincing performance from the South African team against Sri Lanka. They had they fought hard, they really struggled, they had all sorts of things going against them, but finally they got there. That's a big deal, obviously. So credits to them for that. But having said that, let's be honest. Can they really take the game on? Can they be the most menacing team of this tournament? Not just yet. So, for all that we know, number one, against the likes of Bangladesh, they struggled. It went to the last over. Keshav Maharaj possibly bowled the worst over he could, but he still, Bangladesh still went on to lose that game. Nepal winning by 1 run, not very convincing. Against Netherlands, David Miller's exceptional effort took them over the line. 12 for 4, you really felt like South Africa was going to have another horrid time against Netherlands. So this is once again another way to say South Africa are still not very convincing. And South Africa are still very susceptible to high pressure situations. Now, 4 out of 4, it all looks good on paper. 4 out of 4, it makes you feel like, wow, South Africa are really looking good in terms of points. But are they really or not is a definite debate to have. Now, when you talk about their opening stand, I think this is where it's going to be very interesting. Quinton de Kock hasn't really come good in this tournament, and Quinton de Kock post 2023 World Cup has been totally a different player. He's not really had a lot of success in franchise cricket and in international cricket. Now, it's about time he steps up because Quinton de Kock is a very important player. If South Africa has to have the success up top and not really expose middle order in the power play and in very early stages of the game, you need to have Quinton de Kock firing. And along with Quinton de Kock, one other name I would want to really take name is Aiden Markram. Captain Aiden Markram will have to fire. Now, Aiden Markram, we all know the talent he's gotten. We all know what he can really bring into the tally when it comes to his power hitting, when it comes to what he can really do. But can he really come good or not is a big question. Aiden Markram should come good. Now, that is one thing about Aiden Markram. Now, other player I would really want to point out is also to a large extent is Visa Hendricks. Now, Visa Hendricks have been on and off as well when it comes to his form. Visa Hendricks haven't really delivered for South African team, right? So, for all that we know, Visa Hendricks has been blowing hot and cold throughout his career with South African team as well. So for Visa Hendricks, Aiden Markram, and Quinton de Kock, these three lads have to step up. Now, in the last game as well, you just felt like Aiden Markram is just succumbing to the pressure of captaincy. How far, how far can he go along with the same lines? Not quite sure. Now that is where you would really hope that likes of Quinton de Kock steps up, likes of Visa Hendricks steps up, likes of all these lines, right? And also to add to that, Klaassen has a very big role to play in this team. Now, why do I say the name of Klaassen again? Klaassen is a very important factor for this team because of two reasons, right? Klaassen can be extremely dangerous uh, when it comes to his ability to turn things around, and also when it comes to his spin playing ability. Like you are playing in West Indies right now, you would need batters who can counter spin well, and Andre Klaassen is one player who can counter spin really well here. Now, if you look at this team as well, which has been set out, you really feel like you really feel like this is the most ideal team to go out there to win a World Cup in terms of the combination, in terms of everything they've got. Now, the news from the center is USA are bowling first. Now, as I mentioned, when it comes to South African batting, it's a big day for them to really fire. It's about time that they fire all guns. Now they've failed multiple occasions when it comes to them not firing at the right tournaments in big occasions. But is this the right moment for them? You have to ideally believe so. Yes, this is the most ideal situation for South Africa to fire. It's the most ideal situation for South Africa to really turn on the gas and really feel like, okay, you know what, this is our tournament, and this is the right occasion. Yes, we have had few close games. We know how to handle pressure, but we can keep going. Now the big news is they've dropped a Bartman who bowled a fantastic over against Nepal, and now they've stuck in with the Kagiso Rabada and Onrek Nokia. And they're playing two spinners as well in Kesha Maharaj, also in Tabre Shamsi. So, which is a good news in my opinion. Why I'm saying it's a good news is because now when we talk about these conditions, as I mentioned, it could be slightly more on the turning side, right? Because of the conditions in West Indies, you need to have that extra spinner, and if you want to really challenge USA as well, maybe give them that mystery in Tabre Shamsi, who just picked up 4 wickets against Nepal. So he can be attacking. It can be extremely effective on pitches like this. And then, anyways, you have three quality pacers and Marco Janssen, Kagiso Rabada, Andre Nokia. So dropping the extra seamer was always a way to go, but dropping Bartman, I'm not quite sure. Maybe should have dropped a Kagiso Rabada, considering the form which he has shown. Now let's talk about the USA team. On the other end, there's a spectrum. Moning Patel is still not fit, so they've still stuck on with Shaban Jahangir, and the team is led by Aaron Jones once again, and they've stuck in with the other players on the team is almost the same. They have Nitish Kumar, they have a Corey Anderson, they have Harmeet Singh, Jasdeep Singh, they have got a Kenjinge, Ali Khan, and Saurabh Netrawalkar. So team remains same except for Monang Patel still not returning back. That's still a big blow because in this time of the tournament, you want a Monang Patel in your team who's experienced, who's got that ability to turn things around, who is extremely good when it comes to handling pressure situations as well. So that is why South African team will be really hoping that let's put the pressure, let's score something around 160 and put the pressure on the West Indies team. Not quite sure if that's the right move to ball first because you're seeing the pitches being slightly on the slower side in the second innings as well because it's a day game, right? And what you're saying is if the pitch tend to be slightly drier in the second innings, then the likes of Shamsi and Keshav Maharaj is going to really come into the attack a lot more. Their potency is going to increase twofolds than what we have seen. So this is going to be a very interesting phase for South Africa as well to counter the new ball of Saurabh Netrawalkar, not lose a lot of wickets, not let middle order to come into bat like they're letting the middle order to come into bat so often in this tournament. And at the same time, make sure the top order scores runs, because top order is going to have a very important role to play here in today's game, especially someone like a, because what's happened is over the years we've seen South African top order really not really not will not step up in these situations. So about time the South African top order steps up. About time the likes of Quinton de Kock takes owners in a big tournament like this, because you've seen glimpses when Quinton de Kock performs, this is a different team altogether. So Quinton de Kock, he's got a lot of experience, got plethora of experience playing in these situations. So about time that he steps up, and at the same time about time that the likes of even someone like a Reza Hendricks and Aiden Markram, because it's a big game for Aiden Markram. Because let's just put behind whatever has happened in the group stage, because the pitches were hard. They're playing in New York. They've got some hard pitches. Now it's about time that they step up here. So that's about it from us on Mad About Sports. Let's see what happens in this game. We're just a few minutes away from this game as well. I hope you all like this video. If you really like this video, share and subscribe to our channel as well. We'll keep bringing you this content before every game, and we'll be here throughout this tournament. Have a good time, all of you. See you all very soon. Bye bye.